Good day, good day. This is Focus Artist coming back to you here with a video in regard to Devon Rodriguez. Devon Rodriguez, if you don't know him, he's a gentleman that draws people. Before I get started, I just wanted to bring to your attention that I do have a clothing line. It's called Get Right With Him. And so we all try to find a path to lead to make God happy. And how do we make him happy? We got to get right with him. And so, some people have phrases like get right with working out, getting right with your job, getting right with your kids, but why not God? So, had a thought about it, put it on the shirt. Once again, get right with him.bigcartel.com. Now, let's get started. This is a gentleman, once again, who draws people on the subway, and he did a video. He did a interview, on the Today Show, and we're going to get into it. Let's get started.
Artists come in all shapes and sizes, and their work can be found in museums, galleries, street corners, even right under our noses.
Literally. Our next guest knows a thing or two about creativity. You may have seen him on the Uptown 6 train headed to the Bronx, sitting right across from me with a sketch pad.
I kept looking for him.
I know.
I kept looking for
we
him.
We ride that 6 a lot.
Dang, that sketch pad and that talent has brought that Bronxite out of the subway car and into the art world with a fresh pair of eyes. Devon Rodriguez is known on TikTok as the Subway Drawer. His videos have garnered millions of views, attracting people from all over the world.
And we are so lucky because he is joining us right now. There he is. To talk about his solo art exhibit happening right here in NYC. Devon, it is such a pleasure and an honor.
Thank you.
You gotta love this guy. This guy is from the Bronx. He's from the heart of New York. Not only that, but he's Latino. So much love to Latinos. Puertorriqueño, mi corazón. Much love to this guy. He's quirky too. Like, you could just see how he starts. He just starts as quirky, simple, young guy. You gotta love him. Let's go. He's an angel.
To have you sitting here
I'm so
with
excited
us.
to be here. Thank you for having me.
She's been trying to get you on the show.
We've been trying to get you on the show for forever. We were literally,
He's booked and busy.
I know, I'd see your stuff, and then you had an installation literally across the street from the studio, and we were like, and then you got so big and huge and famous, I couldn't get through your handlers. But like a true Bronxite, dare I say Latino, you never forget where you come from.
Of course.
Not that it's going to keep you there, but you remember it.
Of course.
How does that figure into your story of becoming an artist?
It was just like motivation. Like, I grew up in the South Bronx. I grew up in poverty. I grew up, welfare and food stamps, and that always like motivated me. Like, that's not gonna stop me. I could do whatever I want, and I always loved to draw, and I always had these grandiose visions of like, oh, I'm gonna be this big artist, and I don't know where it came from, because I grew up with like 5 people in one little room, and I saw a bunch of violence and witnessed the worst of the worst, and somehow made it out. So.
Yeah.
Now, for those who haven't seen it, I just watched it for the first time. You have a sort of origin story video on your TikTok, so go check it out because it's truly incredible. I was tearing up here.
Yeah.
But just to take her question a step further, obviously it was not smooth seas for you up until this point. I know you still probably have battles. They're different than what the battles used to look like. So what was the internal motivation or inspiration that was able to keep you driving, to allow you to put the blinders on and kind of block out the noise, and no matter what was being thrown at you, to get to where you are right now? Because it's truly incredible.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I had some blessing where, like, in the back of my mind, I always thought, like, I'm gonna make it no matter what. And also, my grandma helped me. I grew up in, like, a broken home, and so my grandma saved me when I was 14. So my grandma's very religious, so when I got to her house, it was always, like, a meal on the table, come back, do your homework, focus on your drawing, Devon, because that's what's gonna take you far. And, like, she always helped me, so, yeah.
It's
Shout out to your grandma.
Shout out to your grandma, and I gotta tell you, all the grandmas, my mother is a grandma, and I know she has saved the day for a lot of her grandchildren. So we first noticed you were already doing the thing, but you were on the train, and it was during the pandemic, is that correct?
Yeah.
So did you always walk around with a sketchbook and a pencil?
Yeah, so I always drew people, like, my entire life.
May I say, the pandemic brought the starving in all of us. Okay. That basically, you had to come up with some ideas to generate popularity or generate income, obviously, during the pandemic. So I say that to say that he came from poverty, so the pandemic was nothing to him in a way because he persevered through poverty and the lowest of the low. As you can see, as you can hear, he is literally a starving artist. He came from nothing. And that's how you have people that from the urban community have flourished to greater things because they come from nothing and they had a dream. They had a dream and they counted on their skill or their talent to allow them to flourish, flourish or chase their dream or receive their calling. So, since he's already came from the lowest level of poverty, the pandemic was just, he already lived it. He already lived that. So it just helped him expand his creativity more. Let's listen on.
Life, I always loved to draw. That's all I cared about and all I knew.
Just figures. You weren't drawing like
Fruit
a
in a
flower
bowl.
thing or a.
In the beginning, I was doing graffiti, and because that's what I saw around me,
Right.
and that's what I was inspired
That's
by.
crew. Shut
Show
up.
what you do.
Yeah. And I got arrested when I was
Honest.
14, and then I was like, you know what? I should not be. I wanted an artistic lifestyle, but not. I didn't want.
I should not get arrested.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I should not be getting
Out
arrested.
here as a free man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that was the sign. And then I went to the High School of Art and Design, and I met a teacher there, and he did portraiture, and then it changed my life ever since then. I was like, I'm gonna focus on portrait. I just never seen that before. You know, when I saw it, I was like, oh, let me go with this. Like, this is beautiful to capture, like, people's souls and humanity. And then on the train, you know, a sketchbook. I would get a sketchbook from my teacher. A pencil is like very cheap, and then I got a free school Metro card, so it was very accessible. There's no like gatekeeping. Like I need some rich parents. I could just draw, and
Right.
it's like, yeah.
Was everybody, what was that? I mean, did first of all, did some people notice quicker than others, I'd imagine? When I'm on the 6 train, I got my AirPods in, whether I'm listening to music or
Right.
not, and I'm zoned out. Like, I'm probably
Yeah.
taking a nap with my eyes open. What was people's reactions to you drawing them? Was it mostly positive? Did you have some people that were like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Who's this?
Yeah,
Who's this weirdo?
yeah. Some people think it's weird as hell, like the creepiest thing, and then, but most people think it's like amazing. And then now a lot of people even know me, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's the guy from TikTok."
That's the guy, that's the guy.
Yeah.
And now, what was it like for you? What was going on in your head when you first saw that you're...
Now, I want to point out that the subway, I just want to look up the word, just talk about the word weirdo. So on the subway in New York, there's talented people, period. And to reach a broad audience, you would do what? Get on the subway. You can't do it at the airport. You can't be that outspoken at an airport and especially on an airplane. So the train is your largest audience. The demographic is mixed of people on the train. Remind you that the train is not for people who are in need of a subway. This is commutes to go from one to another because the traffic is so bad. So for him to get on a train and do this, and for him to draw, of course they probably seen him do it while he's drawing. But you remember that you have dancers, you have people that are homeless asking for money, you have musicians, you have people that play flutes, saxophone. If you're from New York City, you know what I'm talking about. So it's a subway hustle. That's basically the best term I want to just say. It's a subway hustle.
TikTok went viral. What was that reaction?
It was a dream come true. I was like, this is all I ever wanted in my whole entire life.
Wow.
If I didn't make it in this, you know, I don't know what I'll be doing because I don't know how to do anything else. And I remember when it first went viral, the first video had 5 million views, and
my
then
God.
I went from 1,000 followers to 100,000 in a day. And I knocked on my grandma's door like, abuela, soy famoso, yo voy a ser famoso. Like, and she's like, ¿cómo tú sabes? I'm like, because.
¿Cómo di que famoso?
I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
todo va a cambiar, todo va a cambiar. Like, yo te voy a ayudar, voy a pagar la renta,
I'm
yo
gonna
te
help, you're
tengo.
gonna pay your rent. Yeah.
I actually understood all of that, just
I
for
know.
everybody who was watching at home. I
She's
understood.
on a Rican.
Yeah.
So what was your most, so you went from just the casual observer of just the commuter, The Rock, you've sketched, the President of the United States, President Biden, 21 Savage,
Ed Sheeran we saw in the clips. Hello.
You must be getting requests.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I've been getting a few requests.
How did you end up at
how-
1600 Pennsylvania Avenue?
President Biden, did he sit for this, or did you look at a picture?
Oh, I looked at a picture
You
and
looked at a
then
picture.
came in and we met and shook hands. It was an honor, honestly. I never thought from drawing everyday people on the subway that it would get all the way to the top to the president. And, you know, my agency pitched the idea to the White House, and he loved it, and he wanted to be a
God.
part of it.
That was a point I wanted to tell you. Agency. So now he leveled up. Point blank period. This man leveled up. He knew he was going viral. So now he's being wise and prayerfully, I hope that his agency, well, actually, that's what you do anyway. You have to, you get into an agency, and an agency will help push you to take you to the next level. So this is awesome that he's doing this. He's leveling up, obviously, but again, just going back to, he is from the bottom, and he is leveling up to different levels. And to be honest with you, social media is so great that you can access anyone. You can access, like you just mentioned, 21 Savage. All you have to do is get in 21 Savage DM and send him a drawing. I did that with a Washington Heights legend called the Mayor DP. I thought his features were awesome as a Latino, an Afro Latino. I thought, you know, his features were very interesting to me. So I drew him. He said it was awesome. He loved it. I said, you know what? I'll send you a printout with your address. He gave me his address respectfully. I sent it to him. He said he loved it, and he posted on his what do you call it, on his Instagram. So that's the type of thing. And one thing I also want to point out is, I always speak about my uncle. My uncle did this prior. Like, this is not something new that artists do. You have to do something with your time, right? If you're an artist, why not? That's basically it. Why not? You're building up your black book. So this is my book right here. So I have one. Do I have it here? No, but I have one. But this is my current book, and this book is full of things that I draw. I draw people. That's just what I do. I draw people. I draw people. I mean, I draw. That's what I do. You've seen this stuff on Instagram. I do that. So you're commuting somewhere. What are you doing with that time? This guy, he could be on his phone looking at other people. This guy applied his skill and did things on real time. Let's keep listening.
Well, who wouldn't?
I mean, President Biden is crazy. It's mind blowing.
You see?
And
how
now
the
from
world
that,
comes full circle. Oh my
exactly,
gosh.
you have your first solo art exhibit, which is huge. It's called
On September 6th.
There we go. His shirt.
I
It's
love
called
it.
Underground, and it's in me and Chelsea. So what can we expect?
So I always wanted to go beyond my horizons of the Bronx. So for the first time, I went overseas. I captured humanity in Europe. I went to Paris, London, and Barcelona. On all the trains, I started capturing humanity over there, taking photos of strangers. Then I came back to New York, painted 12 paintings, and it's called Underground because, of course, the people are underground in the train, but also I feel like I'm popular as a social media artist, but in that like art world industry, I'm very underground, and it's like a very gate-kept thing, so it's like a double meaning.
I love what you did there. I totally get it.
This is something to behold. Was there ever an artist that you admired, or you were like, you know what, I really like that,
In
that
any
Picasso
medium,
guy?
too, yeah.
Or yeah.
So I really never came up like educated in the art world, like going to museums. So I just was inspired by my art teachers in school. So
Shout out to
The everyday
humans
heroes,
doing
okay?
the work.
Yeah.
Devon, this has been such a pleasure.
yeah, thank you so much.
So proud of you.
September 6th.
I know where I'm going to be September 6th.
September
Read the man's shirt,
Listen,
okay? His art
Please
exhibit.
come by, everybody.
I was going to say, even if you don't invite me, I'm going.
She'll
Oh
show
yeah, no,
up.
you're invited.
And
Everyone's
she'll show up
invited.
in her painting suit.
Look, I wore my painting jumpsuit just for you.
All the viewers, please come through.
Don't you? I have a feeling you're not going to have any problems.
There's gonna be a line to get in.
I like
okay?
to
So
make
get
sure.
there early.
You never know.
I love this guy. So
Abuela's
humble.
doing her rosario as we speak.
Yep, she is. She is.
Thank you so much.
Underground next Wednesday is open to the public. So, as we are known to say, run, don't walk.
Run, don't walk.
This guy's groovy. I love him. He's still humble. And obviously, he wants to take things to the next level. If you notice at the end, he said the word please and everybody. This means that this gentleman is still humble. This guy appreciates. This guy adores what he does. And he loves people, obviously. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great demonstration of love. Love what he does, love for humanity. He took it abroad, went overseas. Much love and appreciation to Devon Rodriguez. I pray that he does things in a great measure and continues to do that. Reminds me a lot of me. When you're living alone or you have ideas, you do whatever you have to do to get your work out. As I've already mentioned, I've done street vending. I've sold, I don't know if I told you the story, but I was in Queens and I lived in an apartment alone, and I wanted to get my clothing line out at the time. So what did I do? Went to Costco's, got a case of water, took the label off. I printed out my artwork on the water bottle and sold water. Summertime, of course, but there was a need there. Sold my bottles of water with my label, not the company Poland, no. I taped my label on there and I sold it. That's called a starving artist, and it never stops. We are always starving. Why? Because the audience of art is such, so there's a billion starving artists. What are you going to do to stand out? So that's my encouragement. That's encouraging to me. And this guy is a legend. God bless this guy. He's not even 30 yet. He's not even 50 yet. You can imagine the things he's going to encompass in his lifestyle. Devon Rodriguez, this is Morris, Focus Artist, and you are appreciated. Thanks for sharing with me. Be sure to check out my handles, Focus Artist 25, also on Instagram, Get Right With Him line. And once again, my website for my t-shirts is getrightwithhim.bigcartel.com. Have a great day.